it's gonna, the due date doesn't really apply. So,
Because I didn't see it in Canvas, so I checked on VHL to see if maybe it was on there, but just didn't link the Canvas right. And I saw them, so like, I guess I'll just try to do it
yeah,
just to get out the way.
the due date, yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of
it said
messed
it
up.
was due on October
Yeah,
13th, and I was like, wait, but we just started this unit on October 31st.
I know. It's I don't know what the problem is this year. Last year it didn't work this way. And I have a feeling that um I have a feeling that what happened is that in Canvas you can copy classes. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like not students, but like the modules, you can like copy them. And so, because Canvas starts out like as blank, you know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
And so I think when the class was copied into Canvas from last year into this year, I think that's where the problems come from. And I don't, because there's a lot of things in Canvas, even when I'm trying to like put your assignments in to Canvas, that are difficult for me. And I didn't have that problem last year, and there's no way to fix it. So I think it comes from copying um, instead of like an original blueprint. Does that make any sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to know what problems might crop up. Like I should be able in Canvas to um I should be able to like move things up and down in the module by clicking on those three buttons. There's like three buttons on the right hand side. And it says, like edit, move, blah, blah, blah. And none of those buttons work. And so it takes me twice as much time to try to organize things and move things where they should be and how they should be, et cetera, because I can't use those three buttons, but I could use them last year. So I think it's because of the blueprint has been copied. And that's why I say, whenever you see something weird, let me know.
Yes. Let's see.
Good morning, Jamarian. All right, you guys, it's 8:30, so we need our cameras on, por favor. So what do you think? Without Googling, make a guess. Which actor revealed that he never wears deodorant or antiperspirant? So why am I doing this as a warm-up? Well, because of our hygiene vocabulary, right? So he was in the movie Interstellar. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I have not. The clue. If you don't know, just tell me you don't know. Thanks, Jermaine. What do you think? Without Googling, guess which actor revealed that he never wears deodorant? Good morning, Marlasia. Good morning, Malia. Feliz lunes a todos. Happy Monday, everybody. Okay, so what do you think, you guys? Since we're doing like hygiene vocabulary, I thought this was interesting. Which famous actor, he is famous, revealed that he never wears deodorant or antiperspirant? And then I gave you a clue there. If you don't know, let me know. Make a guess. Any guesses? Anybody? All right, this is probably not a good picture. Do you guys know who Matthew McConaughey is? It's this guy here, Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, he says he never wears deodorant or antiperspirant. Can you imagine that? I don't know. I don't know. That's him. Now you know. All right. Did you guys have a good weekend? It was Thanksgiving. It was what do you say? Halloween weekend, was it not? Yeah. How did you guys do? Anything fun? Did you have a lot of trick-or-treaters, or did you go to a party? Did you watch scary movies with friends? What did you guys do? Oh, yeah. Did you guys watch scary movies with friends? Halloween party. Oh, that sounds so much fun. Was it fun? Did you have a good time? Yeah, very good. Yes, I love Halloween parties. Haven't been to one in ages, but yeah, I used to like them. All right, you guys, let's look behind me. Hoy es lunes, el 3 noviembre. Anybody have a birthday this month? Besides me? I do. Y vamos a repasar y practicar el vocabulario de la rutina diaria. So what we're going to do today, you guys, is just review and practice with our new vocabulary. We're going to take another look at how these, what we're going to call flexive verbs, actually work. Okay. And remember that there's difference. There's an action that we do to somebody else, right? Like if you have a little brother or sister or child, you comb their hair. And so that's one use of the verb to comb, right? To comb hair versus we comb our own hair. And it's a totally different thing. And so that's why we have to understand what the differences are. Okay. So today is a vocab day, and then we'll spend a little bit of time kind of getting our feet wet with how these reflexive verbs, in other words, again, those verbs that we do to ourselves, okay, and how they work. Okay. All right. Any questions, you guys? Hola, Arshad. How are you today? Let me take a little fast. I hope y'all had a fun weekend. We didn't have too many trick-or-treaters. Did you guys have a lot of trick-or-treaters? Or no? Okay. So let's see. Okay. All right. So let's do a real quick review, you guys. Again, I need your attention. I need everybody to look at the screen because today is your day, right? So I'm going to be asking you questions, et cetera, et cetera. Right? So let's just warm up. It's a Monday morning. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can see my screen. Muy bien. All righty. So I'm going to go quickly. So escúchame, listen carefully. El cepillo or el cepillo de dientes, right? So you can have more than one kind of brush, right? Cepillo brush. El shampoo y la crema de afeitar. Afeitar is to shave, right? So shaving cream. El desodorante, desodorante. El jabón, jabón. La pasta de dientes, la pasta de dientes. El peine, peine. La toalla y la navaja, la navaja. Okay, then we practiced with this, and then we talked about some of our verbs, okay? So acostarse is to put oneself to bed, right? So you're going to bed. Remember, you guys, we looked at, and I'm just going to do this real quick, and then we'll talk about it more later. This right here, this reflexive pronoun means oneself. Oneself, because you're talking about yourself. Okay. And so that leaves us with a verb. Okay. And so I can put my baby to bed, which would be just plain old form of acostar, right? But if I'm putting myself to bed, right, then it's acostar se, right, for oneself. Okay. All right. Then we had afeitarse, right, to shave oneself. Bañarse, to bathe yourself. Cepillarse, and you can see the word cepillo, brush, right? And so cepillar, to brush, but cepillarse, to brush our own hair, right? Ducharse, to shower. Lavarse, to wash. Levantarse, to get up or to wake yourself up, or to actually get up out of bed, right? Because to wake yourself is despierte, despiertese, right? Like to get your despertarse, I guess it would be. Okay, so we'll look at that word here in just a minute. Maquillarse is to put makeup on yourself. Peinarse, to comb your own hair. Vestirse is to get dressed. And this is an irregular verb, so we'll look at that as well. Okay. All right. Preguntas. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. So those were the words that we did the other day. My recommendation to you for class today, you guys, is I would like for you to open up your vocab list and in another tab so that you have it to refer to, because you're going to need it today so we can do what we need to do. So I'm going to give you guys just a second. See if you can open up your vocab list, or if you want, you can open up the vocab slides in Canvas, whichever, right? But you're going to need them. Arshad, Joe Marion, see if you can find your vocab list. That we did the other day. Or like I said, if you prefer to use the slides, you can use the slides, but you're going to need to refer to them today. Okay. I'll give you guys another minute. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, when you have some vocab in front of you that you can use. Thank you, Brooklyn. Arshad. Thank you. Marlesia, gracias. Malia and Jomarian, you have a vocab list you can use in front of you for this vocab, or the slides. Let me know. Okay, Malia's ready. Jomarian, how about you? All righty. So I'm just going to go through this real fast, and then you guys, I'm going to kind of ask you I'm going to ask you a question, right? We're just going to play with these a little bit. Now, notice that right here, there's a word and that they put in for gel, right? Like gel for your hair. And so notice that it's the same word as it is in English, but it's masculine. Okay. Alrighty. So we are talking about, clase, la higiene. It's a very difficult word. You can say it to yourself out loud. La higiene, right? The H is silent and the G sounds like an H. So la higiene personal, right? Our personal hygiene is what we're talking about. Okay, so we had el cepillo de dientes, right? La crema de afeitar, el peine, el desodorante, la pasta de dientes, la toalla, el cepillo here on the little shelf, el jabón y el champú. Okay, so those are the words that we're going to practice with. I'm going to ask you some questions, and then here's some verbs again: ducharse, bañarse, lavarse la cara. So who remembers what is la cara when we did parts of the body? What's cara? Who remembers? What is la cara? Your face. Muy bien, muy bien. So lavarse la cara, to wash one's face, right? Cepillarse los dientes. So what is she doing here? Cepilla. What's a cepillo, clase? Is a brush, right? So cepillarse los dientes. What is she doing here? What are dientes again? Yes, dientes are teeth. So cepillarse, what are we doing? We're brushing our teeth, right? So again, el cepillo is a brush of any kind. Cepillo de dientes is a toothbrush, but when we want to use them for the action of brushing our teeth, notice that it becomes a reflexive verb, right? We take the noun and it becomes a reflexive verb, cepillarse, okay? This gal, maquillarse. So what is she doing? Maquillarse. She's putting lipstick on, so she's basically putting makeup on, right? Ladies, when you guys buy your makeup, or next time you put your makeup on, look at your labels. A lot of times it'll be written in Spanish. A lot of times it'll be written in French. Okay. Maquillage is actually a French word. Okay. That's been borrowed. And so you'll see things all the time referred to maquillage in English. I mean, in beauty products. So if you ever see that word, it just means makeup, like your makeup. Okay. Afeitarse. Now, he's shaving his face, right, ladies? But we shave too. And so this verb applies to us as well. Okay, it's not just a man's shaving their face. Peinarse, she's combing her hair. And vestirse, he's or she, I can't tell, is getting dressed. Okay? All right, so I'm going to ask you all some questions. And what I would like for us to do is to match the item with the action. So, you may have more than one answer. I'll try to keep it as simple. We're just going to do a couple of these. Okay. So, you're going to match the item to the action. So, for example, if I say to you, ¿Qué usamos para peinarse? ¿Qué usamos para peinarse? And I'm going to put it in the chat so you can hear or see what I'm asking you for this first one. ¿Qué usamos para peinarse? Okay, so take a look at the chat. What do you think I'm asking? What do you think I'm asking? ¿Qué usamos para peinarse? Yep. Good, Jamari. Okay, well, you're close, Malia. But what is the question actually asking, like literally asking? ¿Qué usamos? What is that usamos? What are we asking? Yeah, what do we use to comb ourselves, literally? What do we use to comb ourselves? So what would our answer be? Good job, Jamarian. Clase, tell me in chat, or you can unmute. ¿Qué usamos para peinarse? What do we use to comb ourselves? That's our first one. The answer is up on the screen. Just pop it in the chat, or you can unmute. Okay, so I'm looking for the item. See, we have to make the distinction between the verb and the item. So what do we use to comb ourselves? ¿Qué usamos para peinarse? Good. El peine, right? Or un peine, a comb. Everybody see what we're doing? We're matching the item to the action. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you're with me. Arshad, you with me? Okay. Bueno, all right, so let's try another one. Clase, ¿qué usamos para ducharse? ¿Qué usamos para ducharse? And you can have more than one answer, right? ¿Qué usamos para ducharse? Pop it in the chat. ¿Qué piensas? What do you think? Muy bien. Muy bien, Jamarian. ¿Qué usamos para ducharse? And if you remember a word from our vocab that's not up here on our little visual, you can use that too. Muy bien, Malia. ¿Qué usamos? Muy bien, Brooklyn. Para ducharse. What do you think, Marleisha, Arshad? ¿Qué usamos para ducharse? So what do we use for a shower? Ducharse. Well, some of you are telling me el gel, el shampoo. Some of you said el jabón, the soap. Some of you said la ducha, the shower itself, right? What about la toalla? Could we use la toalla, clase? ¿Sí? ¿O no? ¿Sí o no? Podemos usar la toalla también, ¿sí o no? Right? We can use a towel for shower, right? All right, muy bien. Okay, let's do a couple more. Clase, ¿qué usamos para vestirse? ¿Qué usamos para vestirse? ¿Qué usamos para vestirse? Vestirse. What do you think? Again, there's probably more than one answer. Arshad, I'd like to hear from you. ¿Qué usamos para vestirse? Or vestirnos is probably what I should be saying. Brooklyn, ¿qué piensas? What do you think? Sí, muy bien, Jomarian. That's perfect. ¿Qué usamos para vestirnos? Is what I should be saying. We'll get to that in a minute. Anybody else? Sí, I have el desodorante. El desodorante, right? We usually put deodorant on when we get dressed, right? What else? El gel. Sí, podemos usar el gel para vestirnos, right? We can put that on our hair or whatever. El cepillo. Sí, el cepillo. We got to brush our hair, maybe, to get dressed, right? All right, muy bien. Okay, one more. Let me hear from everyone. ¿Qué usamos para ¿Qué usamos para lavarse? ¿Qué usamos para lavarse? What is lavarse? ¿Qué usan para lavarse? ¿Qué usan para lavarse? What is lavarse? Sí, muy bien, Joe Marion. You're hot this morning. Muy bien, Brooklyn. Anybody else? Muy bien, Malia. See, anyone else? So we have el jabón, la toalla, maybe la crema de afeitar, right? Maybe shaving cream. See? So what do we use to wash ourselves or to wash our face in this instance? Okay. Muy bien. Muy bien. Okay, good job. Preguntas, clase. Questions. All right. So that exercise was not only to match vocab, etc., but to sort of get accustomed to hearing that reflexive pronoun at the end of the word, right? And what it means exactly. So, for example, ¿qué usamos para ducharse, right? Like, what do we use in order to shower ourselves? And you guys said soap and towel and blah, 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 right? Because we shower ourselves, not somebody else usually, right? Unless it's maybe our dog, okay? So, the idea of what is reflexive, like what we do to ourselves. Okay. All right. So give me a second to get my screen pulled up, and we're going to do another practice, and we're going to do it out loud together as a class. So let me just get it pulled up here. Any questions about that whole idea of what is reflexive and what is not? If it's confusing, pop it in the chat. Let me know. All right, just waiting on the computer. All right, I'll check it after class or after today. That's not a surprise, unfortunately, right? It's not a surprise. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. And then I need you all to give me a thumbs up and let me know that you can see this. Can you see this? Yeah, is big enough? Okay. So again, if you have the vocab pulled up, okay, it would be helpful for you. All right, so let's see what our instructions are. It says Janet is packing her bags in a hurry, but she is mistaken about the use of some of the hygiene products. Write the correct product in the space provided. Well, we're not going to write anything, but what we are going to do is we're going to look at each example. We're going to take note of a couple of things, and then we're going to fill in the blank together. So make sure that you guys have, again, access to your vocabulary. Okay. All of this is to just help you think about it and help you to remember them. Okay. All right. Any questions about what we're doing? Pop it in the chat. Okay, here we go. So let's do this first one together. And so it's Janet and Andy are talking to each other. Okay, Arshad, you with me? Don't check out on me. So Janet says, para lavarme las manos, uso pasta de dientes. So what the heck is Janet saying? First of all, do we remember what manos are? in part of the body? What is a mano? And you can unmute, you guys. Yeah, your hands. Okay. So what is lavarse? What is lavarse? Do you remember? Lavarse. What is lavarse? To wash. Okay. So here's Janet, right? So remember, she's mistaken about the use of some of these things. So she says, in order to wash my hands, okay, Brooklyn, I use, what is she saying she uses to wash her hands? Pasta de dientes. What is that? Toothpaste. So Janet is saying, in order to wash my hands, I use toothpaste. Well, she's obviously wrong, right? But I want to point something out to you. Isn't the word lavarse, isn't that what it is in our vocab, lavarse, clase? Hear me out 1 second. Arshad, you listening? So I said to you guys, this means oneself, right? But notice what Janet is saying. She is saying, in order to wash me, lavarme las manos. So the se, instead of that oneself, like people in general, okay, we need to change that word. We need to change that reflexive pronoun se, right? Depending upon who is doing the action to themselves. So she's saying, she's talking about herself, right? In order to wash my hands. So the se became me. Everybody see that? Give me a thumbs up. Yes. Okay. So that pronoun se is going to change depending upon who is doing the action to themselves. Okay. So in order to wash my hands, lavarme las manos, I use toothpaste. Well, she's obviously wrong. And Andy says, no, para lavarte las manos. So what is lavarte? What do you think that refers to? Why did he change it from me to te? Who can help me out? What's your ideas? Why did Andy, in response to her, why did Andy change the me to te? What do you think? He says, para lavarte las manos usas blank, right? So why did he change the me to te? What do you think? Make a guess. Come on, you guys, I need you with me. Yeah, very good. Because he's talking, yes, he's talking about her. He's saying you, right? He's talking to her, right? She says, in order for me to wash my hands. And he's like, no, in order for you to wash your hands, you got to use blah, blah, blah. Okay. So in order for you to wash your hands, okay. So you can see, once again, you guys, how this reflexive pronoun is going to change depending upon, right, who's doing the action to who. Okay. Okay. So let's fill in the blank. She says, para lavarme las manos, uso pasta de dientes. No, para lavarte las manos. What do we use, you guys, to wash our hands? We don't use toothpaste, but what? El jabón. Very good. El jabón. Okay. Muy bien. Okay. Everybody see what we're doing here, clase? Sí o no? Sí? Muy bien. Okay. So let's take a look. So then next one, Janet says, para afeitarte, usa el peine. What is she telling Andy? Para afeitarte, usa el peine. What is afeitarse? Who remembers? Andy's a dude. Very good, Brooklyn. But we need it in Spanish. What is she trying to tell? What is she trying to tell him? Yes, very good, Malia. Para afeitarte, usa el peine. What is she telling him? In order to do what? What is afeitarte? Right here. Oops. In order to shave who? What is the te? What does that mean? That's what I'm trying to get out of you. She says to Andy, para afeitarte, usa el peine. What is she telling him? In order to what? Yes, in order to shave yourself, right? Yourself, because tú is you, and then the reflexive pronoun that matches is te, right? So in order to shave yourself, use the comb. Again, she's incorrect. So he says no. Para afeitarme, in order to shave myself, what do I use, you guys? What does Andy say he uses? What's a razor? Very good. La navaja. Okay, la navaja. Okay, clase? Sí o no? All right, let's finish this up. Para lavarme, Janet says, para lavarme los dientes, uso jabón. No, contesta Andy. Para lavarte los dientes, usas what? ¿Qué usamos, clase, para lavarnos los dientes? Sí. We could say el cepillo de dientes or la pasta and la pasta de dientes, right? Everybody with me on this? Yes? Okay. Muy bien. All right. Janet says, para cepillarme el pelo, uso el jabón. Clase, what is pelo? She says, what is cepillar? Do you remember what a cepillo is? What does that mean? Para cepillarme el pelo. Well, we have up here, cepillo de dientes. So what is a cepillo? ¿Qué es un cepillo? Who can tell me? Arshad, I need you to join me, please. Malia, how about you? Joe Marion? A brush. Muy bien, gracias. Okay, so she says, in order to brush, what is pelo? What do we brush, you guys? If it's not our teeth, it's our what? Our hair. Muy bien. So in order to brush my hair, I use soap. And he says, no, para cepillarte el pelo usas. Clase, what do we use? El peine, but it says to brush, not comb. So what would be a better answer? What's a brush? Cepillo, muy bien. If a cepillo de dientes is a toothbrush, right, then a regular brush is a cepillo, right? Okay, and so another thing that I want to point out to you real quickly, and it's a difference between English and Spanish. In English, I would say, I wash my hands. I brush my hair. Okay, not so in Spanish. Take a look at what they do if you didn't notice already. Okay, clase. Notice they say las manos. Las manos. In order to wash me, the hands. Right? Down here, the hair, not my hair, but the hair. Okay. And so why is that important? Well, here's why it's important. Because we could say, again, it's the difference between, are you washing your hands, right? Is somebody else washing their hands or whatever? In English, the way to know that is my hand or their hands or my hair or their hair or his hair or her hair or whatever. But in Spanish, you don't have that. So the only way to know whose hair is getting brushed, whose teeth are getting brushed, who's shaving themselves, who's washing their hands or whatever, is this reflexive pronoun right here. And that's why it's so important, you guys, because in Spanish, they don't say my hands, it's the hands. Well, whose hands are they? And the only way to know it is by using the correct reflexive pronoun. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? Yes or no? Right? So like if I look at this first one, in order to wash me the hands, the only way I know that Janet is talking about her own hands is the reflexive pronoun me. Okay. Same down here, right? Only way to know who's brushing whose hair is the use of me. She's talking about her own hair here because it's the hair. Well, whose hair? Well, mine. And the only way to know it is attached to the verb. Okay. All right, one last one. Para no oler mal, usas la toalla. What is she saying here? What the heck is she talking about? Now, remember, she's talking to Andy. This is a hard one, so think about it. What is oler? Do you remember that verb, you guys? We learned it last unit. What is oler? One of our five senses. Oler. What was oler? We had oír. That was oír. What is oler? It became huelo, hueles, huele, olemos, huelen with an H. What was oler? To smell. Very good. So in order not, para no oler mal, in order not to smell, what is mal? What is mal? Think malware in your computer. What is mal? Is it good or bad? Mal. If you have malware on your computer, is it good or bad? It's bad. So in order not to smell bad, use the towel. Well, she's wrong again. So what does Andy say? No, para no oler mal uso. What do I use not to smell bad? Andy says. Yeah, we could say el jabón. Make sure I use soap. What else? What can I use specifically not to smell bad? Yeah, el desodorante, kind of like Matthew McConaughey not using desodorante, right, clase? Matthew McConaughey no usa el desodorante. Right? Entonces, Matthew McConaughey huele mal, right? Malísimo. He must stink if he doesn't use deodorant, right? Okay. Any questions, you guys? All right. So I want to point something out to you real quick here. Can you all meet me in Canvas real quick? See, meet me in Canvas real quick. And meet me in the resource library, por favor. I want us to have time to play a game today, if possible. So if you can get over there real quickly, that would be helpful, Jo Marion. Brooklyn. Head on over to the resource library. And remember, you guys, all we go top to bottom. So the stuff at the bottom is always going to be is the stuff that we're currently working on, the most recent stuff. So come down here to the visual guide where it says reflexive verbs and their pronouns. Okay, so I'm in the resource library, very last thing there. Click it. All right, and you're going to see this. And obviously you can access this at any time when you're working on assignments or in the future when you need to figure out how to remember how to use one of these things. Okay, so it says hablar de tu rutina diaria, so to talk about your daily routine. Usamos clase los verbos reflexivos. We need to use these reflexive verbs. Sometimes an action is reflected back onto the whoever or whatever is doing the action. Okay. So Juan se lava, right? Juan is washing himself. He performs the action and he receives the action. Because again, think about like if you're have an infant child, right? You are washing the child, but you're not receiving the action, right? You're washing the baby. So if you're washing the baby, you're not going to use a reflexive verb. You're going to just say, I'm washing the baby, right? Lavo el niño, right? I'm washing the baby. But if I'm doing it to myself, okay, yo me lavo, I'm washing myself. It's two different uses, two different verbs, two different totally things, right? So we have the verbs ducharse, bañarse, maquillarse, peinarse, and vestirse are reflexive verbs. And they have to use these reflexive pronouns. So look what we have. We saw me in the activity we just did. We saw te in the activity we just did. We've seen that se means in general, right? Oneself. But there's also nos and then se for plural. And so, and we're going to practice these more on Wednesday. When we use them in a sentence, there's two ways we can use them, okay? We can use them in front of the verb, like yo me lavo, I wash myself. Or we can use it like we just saw it in the activity that we just did, attached to the end of the verb. But in that case, you have to have two verbs. So again, in the example that we just did, we had uso, right? Use, it was our verb. What do I use to wash myself? What do I use to whatever the other ones were? Shave myself or comb myself or whatever. So we had two verbs, use and then the activity. So when you have two verbs, you can attach it to the end. So I want to wash myself. Quiero lavarme. So you can have it two ways. Yo me lavo, you can put your pronoun in front of the verb if you have one verb. If you have two verbs, you can put it at the end. Okay, and we'll practice all of that. Okay, so what are, you guys, the reflexive pronouns? So let's think about it. We have me, te, and se on the singular side, nos and se on the plural side. Now, you just need to recognize os is for vosotros, but you're not going to need to worry about it. Okay. All right. So this is a crucial thing because this is the only way we can use a reflexive. Who is the action reflecting back on? If it's reflecting back on me, I'm going to use me. If it's reflecting back on you, right, and I'm a friend, I can say te. If it's usted or he or she, reflecting back on her or him or whatever, I'm going to use se. If it's reflecting back on us, it's going to be nos, nosotros. If it's ustedes, ellos, or ellas, they, right? They wash themselves, for example. Ellos se lavan. And then remember that you still have to conjugate the verb o, as, a, amos, and an. Okay? So yo is I and me, tú is te, usted, él, and ella, you're going to use se, nosotros, nos, ustedes, ellos, and ellas, se. Okay? And again, we will continue to practice this. So many verbs are related to, so we have despertarse is to actually wake up, but levantarse is to like get up out of bed. So waking up is a separate action from getting up. Acostarse, to go to bed, dormirse, to fall asleep, right? So if I wake up, yo me despierto a las 6 de la mañana. Despertar is an AR verb, so it's going to end in an O. I'm talking about myself, so I'm going to use me. Yo me despierto. I wake myself up, literally. Okay, let's look at this one down here, to go to bed. They, ellos, plural, right? They go to bed very late. Ellos se acuestan. So it's an AR verb. It's they. They put themselves to bed, literally. They put themselves to bed. Ellos se acuestan. Okay, they're not putting the baby to bed. They're putting themselves. Ellos se acuestan. That se tells us who puts themselves to bed. They do. Okay. This one, to fall asleep. Tú te duermes pronto. You fall asleep quickly, right? Or early. So tú te, you literally, you guys, it means you fall yourself to sleep. Tú te. Doesn't make sense to us in English, right? Tú te duermes pronto. You fall yourself asleep quickly. Okay? All right. Questions. Again, we'll practice these pronouns, right? You might want to leave that up. I want us to try to play a game. So give me a second to get my stuff loaded. And let's see if I can set this thing up. Okay. I don't know if it's better to put the link in the chat for you or not. Let's just try it this way. Okay, so we're going to play a Jeopardy game, right? And there are 5 of you, which makes it an uneven number. So instead of playing in a team, let's just play individually, okay? And we'll see who can get the most right answers. So we have our, let's look at our categories. We have la higiene personal número 1, la higiene personal número 2, la rutina diaria, los reflexivos 1, los reflexivos 2, y traduzcamos, let's translate. Okay, so you have your amount, your point values here. Okay, so I'm just going to go in order on who I see on my screen. Okay, so Marlacia, you're first. So pick a category and pick an amount, Marlacia. And it's faster if you unmute.
Category 1, number, do 30.
30 points? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here's your question. ¿Qué es el cepillo? El cepillo.
Is it a brush?
Yay, brush. Muy bien, brush. Airbrush. Good job. Okay, Marlacia's got 30 points. Muy bien, Marlacia. Okay. Malia, you're next up on my screen. Pick a category and an amount. You with us, Malia? There you are. Pick a category and an amount. Go ahead and unmute. It'll be faster. Malia, what do you say? Hygiene for 20? Okay. Hygiene 1 or hygiene 2? One? Okay. Okay. ¿Qué es el champú? What is el champú? Yeah, shampoo. Muy bien. All righty. Good job. El champú. Good job. Okay. Jamarian, you're next up on my screen. Jamarian, let's go. Pick a category, pick an amount. Quickly. Hygiene 1 or 2? 2. Okay. What point value? Marlacia's in the lead with 30. All right. You're gonna go for it. All right. ¿Qué es el cepillo de dientes? Jamarian? El cepillo de dientes. Oh, all right. It was a toothbrush. Toothbrush, cepillo de dientes. Okay, Brooklyn, you're up. Dos for 50. Okay. All right, Brooklyn. El peine. El peine. Comb, is she right? See, ooh, that means she's in the lead. Okay, muy bien. Marlacia.
Personal hygiene 1, 50
Oh,
points.
okay, you're going for it. La crema de afeitar.
Is shaving cream?
Shaving cream. Woohoo! All right, Marlacia's in the lead. Good job. Shaving cream. Muy bien. Okay, Malia, your turn. All right, hygiene 1 for 40. Okay. La navaja. La navaja. Mia. La navaja. Razor. Is she right? Sí, muy bien. Good job. Good job. You're at 60 points. So Marlacia's at 80. Mia's at 60 in the second round. Okay, Joe Marion, you're up. Unmute, you guys, and go faster. Rutina diaria 1. Okay, for what amount? 50? All right. Rutina diaria 150. All right, Joe. Ooh, maquillarse. That's a hard one. Maquillarse. What do you think, Joe?
Is it like makeup or something?
Yay, putting your makeup on. Good job. Very good, right? Putting makeup on. So Joe, you're on a board. 50 points. Good job. Okay. Brooklyn. $52. Okay. ¿Qué quiere decir acostarse? What does that mean? Acostarse. Yes. To put yourself to bed, to go to bed. Muy bien. 50 points. All right. So let's see where we're at. End of second round. Marlacia's at 80. Mia's at 60. Joe's at 50. Brooklyn's at 100. Okay. All right, you guys. Here we go. Third round, number 3. Marlacia.
Hold up. I'm going to do like the fourth row. I don't know how to say it. At number 40.
Reflexives, number 2.
Yeah.
This round? Okay, 40. Levantarse. What's it mean? Levantarse.
That's like yawning. What's it?
What'd you say? Say it again.
Yawning.
No, try again.
Stretch.
No, you're close though.
Oh my
Right.
God.
To get up. Right, to get up. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That was a hard one. Right? Levantarse. Do you guys know have you ever heard of like in a magic show when they like make somebody float in the air? Have you ever seen anything like that? And they make you like float. Well, they call that levitate, right? You levitate. And that's where the word comes from. Levantarse, levitate, because you like lift up, right? You get up, you're lifting something up, right? Okay. Anyway. All right. Malia says reflexivos 1 por 40. Okay. Ducharse. Mia, ducharse. Very good. Woo, good job. Is she right? To take a shower. See, good job, Mia. Good job. All right, Joe Marion, you're up.
Let's translate 50.
Ooh, look at him. Ustedes se maquillan sus caras. Se maquillan sus caras.
You put makeup on your face.
That's it. That's it. Very good. Right. So you all putting makeup on your face or makeuping yourselves or however you want to translate it. Muy bien. So that was 50 points. Joe, good job. Okay. All righty. Brooklyn. La rutina dos for 30. Okay. Lavarse. Lavarse. ¿Qué quiere decir lavarse? Yay. Is she right? Yes, that's 30 points to wash oneself. Okay. At the end of the third round, we got Marlacia at 80, Mia at 100, Jojo at 100, Brooke at 130. All righty, let's keep going. Next round. Marlacia, what's your choice here?
Let's translate 40.
Okay. Nos acostamos en la noche. So acostarse would be the verb.
I don't even know.
Okay. All right, let's see. We put ourselves to bed. So it's actually the opposite of your levantarse. Okay. All right. You'll remember those from now on, right? So acostarse, to put yourself to bed. All right. Muy bien. Those were hard. All right. Mia, what's your choice? What's your choice, Mia? Okay. Agent 2. Okay. La pasta de dientes, Mia. Yay. Is she right? She's telling me toothpaste. Toothpaste, 30 points. Good job. All right. Joe.
Let's translate 30.
Okay, Joe. Ella se veste en la mañana. Vestirse is your verb.
She's getting dressed in the morning.
Yeah, very
I
good.
think.
Yes, she dresses herself in the morning, right? Literally. Very good. Muy bien. Muy bien. So she dresses herself in the morning or she gets dressed in the morning. That was 30 points. Good job. All right. Brooklyn. Okay. Afeitarse. Yes, to shave oneself. Good job. To shave oneself. Was that 30 points? See, 30 points. Okay. Do we have time for one more round? Maybe if we go quickly. I'm not sure. All right. Marlisha, go.
Hygiene number 2. At 20.
Okay. Jabón. Jabón.
Was that the razor? No, not the razor. Dang. What was that? Soap.
Soap. Is she right? Yes, with 3 seconds left. Muy bien. That was 20 points. Okay. Muy bien. Muy bien. All right. Real quickly, Mia. Okay. Rutina for 20. Cepillarse. If you can remember what a cepillo is. Brush your hair. Is she right? See. Good job. Okay, real quickly, Joe.
Let's translate 20.
Te maquillas los ojos. Los ojos.
You put makeup on my eyes.
On your eyes. Exactly. Absolutely. Very good. Right? If it's te maquillas, it's like you, right? Tu te. So you put makeup on your eyes. Very good, Joe. That was fabulous. Nicely done. Okay, last one, Brooklyn. All righty. Vestirse. What's it mean? To dress yourself. Very good, to dress oneself. All right, good job, you guys. So the winner would be, let's see, Marleisha with 100. Mia would be 80, 150. Mia, 150. Good job. Joe, 150 also. And Brooke, 160, 200 for Brooke. All right, good job, you guys. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay. I did post a couple of a couple of whatchamajiggers assignments, practice assignments in Canvas, okay, that are in VHL, right? So if you want to look at those, they're the ones with the brain, you know, you guys, as a reminder that they're in VHL, because we have about 3 minutes left. So if you want to head on over to the module, should be at the bottom. One is Rutina de la Mañana, and the other one is En Oferta. So give me a thumbs up if you see those. I want to make sure you all can see them. Yeah, Malia's there. Anybody else? Marleisha, good. Joe Marion, you see those with the brain at the end of the module? Okay, Brooklyn does. Joe. And then the one with the googly eyes, you guys, those are a freebie. They're like 1 point just for reading them. So, you know, they can add up to 3 or 4 or 5 extra points, and they're free points, right? You just, all it's asking is for you to take a look at them before you do the assignments with the brain. Okay. I think they're pretty self-explanatory. If they're not, go ahead and click on, like, one is just labeling the action, matching, right? Just matching. Short and sweet. And then the other one is based on an ad. And then you decide if it's true or false. So if we look here, you guys, remember, más caro means more expensive. Más barato or más barata means less or more cheap. In other words, less expensive. Are you with me, you guys? Yeah. Caro is expensive. Barato means cheap, or so less expensive. Okay. Or more expensive, or less, whatever. Yeah. Cost less, cost more. And there's only 5 of them. So you're going to answer those based on the little image. Okay. So short and sweet, little practices. You could probably knock one out real quickly. All right. Did you guys like your Jeopardy game? It took me forever to make that, by the way. Yeah, good. I'm glad you liked it. All right, that's our time. Reach out if you ever have a question or something's goofy in grade book, right? We'll try and sort it out. Brooke, what did you tell me that I needed to look at? Oh, good, Millian. I'm glad, because it took me forever. So at least for the effort, you guys enjoyed it. That was good. Did you want me to look in Brooklyn? Did you want me to look in Canvas, or did you want me to look in the other VHL?
The VHL.
Okay.
The ones that you just said that we have to do, I'll turn these in, but they gave me a 0. You don't gotta.
Okay. All right. I will look at them. All right, you guys. See ya. Miércoles. Isn't that right? Yeah. Miércoles. Nos vemos miércoles. All right. You guys have a great day. Adios. Don't be late.